Sometimes, larger scale AAA games can feel intimidating to even start playing. It's a big commitment to make, and sometimes you just feel the urge for a short, compact game to play through in one sitting or in many bite-sized portions. So, this is Snackable Games. Superhot VR is a great snackable first-person shooter that you can finish in 2 to 3 hours and then come back to whenever you feel like. It's based on its non-VR counterpart that originally introduced some very innovative mechanics to the world of first-person shooters. Superhot VR takes these mechanics and successfully translates them into virtual reality.
Superhot.
Basically, it works like this. The game throws you into different scenarios where a bunch of enemies are attacking you with guns and melee weapons. Your goal is to kill all enemies in a level in order to advance. Now, here comes the twist. Time only moves when you move your body. This simple but mind-blowing mechanic makes Superhot VR feel less like an ordinary shooter and more like a Matrix-inspired bullet time puzzle game where you can slow down and stop time at your will. Important side note, unlike in the original game, you won't be walking around in the environments. You'll just have to duck, lean, and take 1 or 2 steps to the right, to the left, or towards the camera to dodge incoming attacks. Every move you make is very important and has to be well thought out, or else the bullet storms and approaching enemies will kill you in an instant. There's a lot of trial and error involved here, but it always feels like the solution. The right choreography is within reach. You just have to optimize little details in your performance in order to win.
Hot.
The game's levels are bundled into chapters. If you fail a level of a chapter, you'll get thrown all the way back to the first level. This may seem frustrating on paper, but because you will be replaying certain levels over and over again, you'll get very good at them and start feeling like an overpowered Neo from the Matrix. You'll be dodging and slicing bullets in slow motion, catching guns in mid-air, and stabbing enemies without even looking at them. You've never felt so cool playing a game. After you finish the story chapters, the game gives you some additional challenges to conquer, including, for example, speedrun modes, a faster hardcore mode, and the relentless headshot-only mode. I've played the game on PlayStation VR with PlayStation Move controllers. The motion tracking worked fine for the most part, and the player hitbox tracking mostly felt fair. If you get shot, you'll understand why most of the time. And the feeling when you've barely dodged a bullet and hear it pass millimeters next to your head is thrilling. But there were some critical moments where I wished for a more sophisticated tracking setup. Whenever the game makes you move more than usual or requires more precise movements than usual, tracking becomes a problem. Picking up guns from the ground or shooting enemies coming from behind or from the sides will most likely lead to glitchy tracking and unintentional movements, which can result in some unfair deaths. Playing the already mentioned headshot-only mode can also be a very frustrating experience with the glitchy tracking. The game's visuals are impressive. The clean and minimalist style looks consistently great and is a perfect fit for Superhot's virtual reality environment. The high contrast colors and clearly designed sound effects will help you to discern incoming attacks even when things get a bit hectic. The lack of music in the game further accentuates its overall minimalist art style and helps you to concentrate on the things that really matter. Superhot VR is a great snackable puzzle shooter game that will motivate you to get better and better. Its snackable level structure and the additional post-game challenges make it a great snackable, high score based game. Whenever you want to feel really badass, just start the game, slice some bullets and score some headshots in bullet time. Just be aware that you might run into some technical hiccups when playing it on PlayStation VR.